Hello, 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 and how you doing? Welcome back to What the Movie Are Y'all Watching? And it's been a minute. I took a little time off, so I might be a little rusty, but we're going to get right into it. I got a special guest with me. I got a friend of family, friend of my pops. I like to have guests that I can have meetings of the minds with, and this brother, we've had several in-depth conversations that need to be heard so many times that I thought, hey, it might be a great idea to bring my brother Armondo on the show. And before we get into it, I just want to say that all my shows are brought to you by the Most High. We're going to invite God into this session because without him, nothing's possible. We want to make sure that we keep this energy with light. We want to make sure we keep this energy God-driven and factual-driven and the opposite of negative and evil and all of those things that try to drive society today. So when I say what the movie are y'all watching, it's because I'm frustrated with the sheeple, we the sheeple of America. And I feel like shows like this need to be heard because people just run away from the real. And it's hard to speak on the real once you see, it's hard to not see the real once you recognize that it's there. And unfortunately, we've seen the light, and so we can't run from the truth. Armondo, welcome to my show, good brother. You know it's love always. It's good to see you. How you doing today?
How you doing? It's great. It's great to see you as well. I want to just tell you that I'm an identical twin. I'm Arman. My brother is Armando is taking a break. I sent him to New York.
Okay.
And he's having a great time right now in Manhattan.
Is he?
And I'm here
Okay.
to clean up a lot of mess here that I see that's going on that needs to be corrected.
Word. Cool. Well, on this episode, we're going to break it down into three pieces. The first one was just an idea that I had. I just thought about society today, and I was thinking, we have all of these billionaires. There's 2,900 billionaires worldwide, right? So as a society today, we glorify money. We just praise the dollar. And I think these gentlemen that have this money, the guys like Elon Musk, the guys like Jeff Bezos, the guys like Zuckerberg, they're worth so much money and they don't do anything to change the narrative of how societies run. I get it. They're controlled by corporation or businesses and things like that, but they could fix certain things in our society with a very, very small portion of their money. And what people always say is, why are you counting the next man's money? Well, we're talking about money that they could not even spend of their own. They could get donations because they're so big. But even if they spent the money, it wouldn't affect their long-term generational wealth. It wouldn't affect their wealth now. It wouldn't affect their grandkids' situation. So let me throw on my glasses to get deep here. And I want to go over some points here. Elon Musk is worth $491 billion. Jeff Bezos, $243 billion. Mark Zuckerberg, $229 billion. And like I spoke on before, there's 2,900 billionaires worldwide, 58 million millionaires worldwide. That's 1.5% of the global population. In the USA alone, we have 756 billionaires, 24 million millionaires in the USA alone. Now, when you think about those numbers, shout out to what's my man Mike in the back? I'm drawing a blank. You got that document that I was saying to bring up from the
Yes.
Yeah, well, he had some stats. I always forget his name. I'll get back to that in a second. Billy Carson. A guy that I look up to because he always speaks the real. And he's not scared to just tell the truth. He put up some stats. Cost to end homelessness in the USA, $20 billion. The cost to end hunger worldwide, $40 billion. Cost of free education in America for everybody, $80 billion. Now, let's just put that in perspective. American taxpayers have sent Israel $320 billion. Now, that don't have nothing to do with this, but you know where I'm going with that. Now, Elon Musk could solely end homelessness in America and end world hunger and provide free education in America and still be worth $351 billion. Let me put that in perspective. So 140 million to end world hunger, free education in America for everybody, and end homelessness in America. Something like that would spark a mass positive love vibration across the world. And I just want to know, Mondo, what are your thoughts? I know I didn't prep you on this. This was kind of a thought in my head. I just wanted to kind of press people to share this with Elon Musk, share this with Jeff Bezos, share this with Mark Zuckerberg. At them if you can. Put an @ sign in and make them answer these questions, because if all of them got together, $47 billion to end homelessness in the U.S., offer free education in the U.S., and end world hunger, Elon would still be worth $444 billion. Jeff Bezos will still be worth $196 million, and Mark Zuckerberg will still be worth $182 billion if they came together to fix world hunger, homelessness in America, and give everybody free education in America. Do you think that would change the vibration in the state of America? How we're always arguing and bickering. It seems like you turn on the news, it's negative. Do you think something positive like this would change the vibration across the nation?
Well, from what I can see being here in America, you got to remember I'm Arman.
Okay.
I live in Africa. We do things a lot different.
Okay, Arman.
America, they killed my friend Colonel Gaddafi.
For sure. Great brother.
We had a lot of things that we were doing.
Who killed him? Obama?
America.
Obama, right?
I wasn't there.
Yes,
so.
Obama's administration.
Okay.
So took out.
So
but go ahead.
The Obama and Hillary Clinton is what I can hear.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
And I want to correct you. There is a king in Mali, in Africa, that's worth $900 billion.
Okay.
They don't talk about him. But he's richer than all of those.
Mansa Musa of today.
Yes, $900 billion. You can Google it.
Gotcha.
America's a corporation. Until the people here understand that it's a corporation. Yeah. Then once you understand how corporation is, there's no freebies. You make money. America makes money off of homelessness. That's how they print money, off of crime in Chicago.
For sure.
So,
prison.
Yes, prison. So it's a business.
I get that. I'm aware of that. At what point do we, the people, say, okay, well, we got enough money. Can we alter the business? We can still make money. We can still be positive business. I mean, it's turned into greed, in my opinion. It's not just about making money. It's turned into greed. And in my opinion, you can answer this afterwards. In life, you get to choose God or the devil. It ain't no in between, Arman. And I know you're a hardcore businessman. But even if you're Elon Musk, Mr. Elon Musk, you either choose God or the devil. And if you're a person of God and you have $491 billion and you don't take $20 billion to end homelessness, to show people love and positive energy, then you chose the devil side. And there's no in between. I'm tired of being nice about it. Ain't no in between. And I would rather you just be honest about it. Hey, I want to put robots in place, and I'm a devil. I chose the evil side. I'm not going to help homeless people, even though I can. I'm not going to help any other person besides myself, and I'm going to bury all this money with me and my family, and I'm not helping anything. And or the corporation's got a gun to his back and said, if you do anything, I'm killing you and everybody. So it's one of those two things. You either chose the devil side because you're not doing it, or you're just not a person that's spiritually in touch, and I'd rather you just be honest about that, because anybody with that kind of money should be doing things that we see, in my opinion.
So, first of all, people with money, they know that when they donate money, that it's not going to go directly to the source. It's going to go to the administration. And so if you're donating to fix homelessness, it's never going to get fixed because it's not going to go to the right people. This is why most people, when they want to do something, they do it themselves. They go and they buy everything, they fix it, they put their own people in place.
So why doesn't he do it himself?
That's not his passion.
Okay, so 2,000 900 billionaires. None of them have the passion to fix society.
Well,
then they're devils.
When you say to fix society,
forgive me for being harsh. It's God or the devil, right? It's not two. You either choose. They say to get into heaven is through the eye of a needle. All these people talk religion and Christianity and you're Muslims and all, but we make passes for people that have the ability to bring God's energy to earth and change things, and they don't.
Yes, so there's still, like you said,
I
greed.
get it. They invest in corporations that take the money and do
Yes.
the wrong thing. You have enough money to stop for a year and fix it yourself and show people, hey, look, we do the right thing. And we can still make money over here. We can still enterprise. We can still do AI under the right guidelines. That's a whole nother thing we need to talk about. But why don't we glorify people doing the right thing? Why do we continuously, because we know America's a corporation and that's built on take, gimme, like Tupac said, why do we the people still, because the government, they say government funded. The government can't fund anything without our tax dollars.
Absolutely. So here's when Tupac was alive, Tupac talked about, and how do I know about Tupac? My children brought me up on Tupac and said, Dad, this guy is really a revolutionary. He says that his friends in the rap game, they should do this. So when Tupac laid the blueprint,
right?
And so then I heard of a guy by the name of the late great Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey seemed like that he's the only guy that's doing a very small thing, which we want to give a shout out to Black Sam for really keeping the legacy alive. And so we say Black Sam is standing on business in the community.
Yes.
He's a community guy.
Yes.
And he's an African.
Absolutely.
You know, and he loves to finish and to do and to do the blueprint that his brother thought about.
For sure.
And
he's
so,
continuing the marathon.
Absolutely. Marathon.
At the end of the day, Sam was really the hustler that taught Nip to hustle.
Yes.
Sam been hustling on Crenshaw and Slauson CDs and DVDs since he was working at Bayou Grill on 64th and La Brea. I know them brothers from way back.
Yes, and I know Michael over there at the Bayou Grill.
What do you think what do you think Black Sam would do if he was worth $491 billion?
Oh, it would be
what Nipsey was, or let's say Nipsey, because Nipsey was heavy on building the community and teaching brothers tech. He had the tech thing with David A. Gross. I forget Vector 90 or whatever. I think that's the name. Forgive me if I said it wrong, but Google it. Nipsey Hussle's tech. I wonder if it's still going. But that was great for the community, to teach brothers in the community how to move into the tech space.
Well, I want to stop you here for a second. Nipsey had the vision, entertainer. But Sam is the foundation of making all of this. I've never seen a young man that just carry out a legacy of his brother. Yeah. I've never seen that. Yeah. And
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's
I think he was always there. He was carrying Nipsey was just on Sam's shoulders.
Yes.
The whole time.
Yes.
Made him taller.
Yes.
You know, he had a brother that he could depend on that was down in the trenches, and they had a same vision from the same mud. But let's not lose the focus of my question. My question is, if Nipsey Hussle had $491 billion, what would the landscape of Bloods and Crips, of people doing bad in the community? He was already building Vector 90, teaching people tech. Do you think that he would have built up our community and gave brothers opportunity?
In this day and time right now, just my children showing me, and my brother Armondo showing me, they would have bought Crenshaw. They would have bought Crenshaw.
For sure.
They would have bought Crenshaw from Florence all the way down to I want to say Adams.
Now, you know, they tried to, after Nipsey's death, they sold the Crenshaw Mall. David A. Gross, who was a business partner in Nipsey, put a bid on the Crenshaw Mall. They had investors. And do you know they bid $100,000 or something roughly over the amount that they were asking for, and the highest bid, they basically gave them a clause where, what's it called? They do it in real estate all the time, where whatever the highest bid is, you're saying, I'm going to come over the highest bid X amount of dollars. I forget the term. I'm drawing a blank. I suck at remembering stuff. But it's not highest and best. It's something along those lines. Anyway, they put that clause in there, and they still gave it to another developer. I believe it was damn, it's a popular developer that got the bid for the Crenshaw Mall.
Yes.
Now, their goal was to get the Crenshaw Mall and turn it into the first African-American high-end mall. How, as a community, I don't see how Jay-Z didn't get involved, how, all of these big millionaire, billionaire, DJ Khaled's, all these people didn't come together and say, hey, let's finally have a black mall with high-end stores in it. Of course, we would have our own brands, and then you'd have an Apple store and all of that, but you would have some of the, Yeezy brands and different things like that to have you'd have Armondo, your brother's store, who you guys had stores on what, Rodale Drive, Fox Hills Mall back in the day?
Yeah, my brother was the first black man on Rodale Drive in Beverly Hills.
Wow.
My brother started from Zeiler and Zeiler in the Fox Hill Mall.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was the top salesman, and he went to.
I remember that.
He went to Europe, and he met with one of my friends, Chief Tony. That's a Nigerian.
Okay.
And my brother told me the story. He asked him. He said, "Do you think I should open up my own store, or I should keep working?" And Chief Tony told him, from Nigeria, "If you don't never jump off the porch, you'll never know." And my brother jumped off the porch, and he
became
started.
his own boss.
Yeah.
Now, my dad used to take me into the mall, and whenever it was time to get fresh, time to, suited and booted, we would come by Armando stores and get fresh. I started to get fresh today, but I had to promote the show. So you guys, make sure you buy some of this merch. But I wish there were more stores like that in the neighborhood. I felt like that mall could have been a pillar for the black community to have high-end stores like that. So when it's time for us to do business meetings and it's time for us to dress it up, we have a store of our own to go to. We have a mall of our own to go to. We have a mall for other races to come and see black culture that's in the light of what it really is and not the stereotypes that the media gives black culture. Because there's a beautiful scene in Los Angeles when you talk about Baldwin Hills, Ladera Heights. You talk about these higher end areas where you see beautiful black people, but it's not shown in the media. When you see the media, all we see is the dark side of our culture, and it would have been great to see that mall. Now, I know I'm dancing around different topics and moving around, but you guys get what I'm trying to say.
Can I stop you and interject for a second?
No, this is my show. You can't stop and interject. No, of course you can. I'm messing with you.
Sure.
Go ahead.
You keep saying the media.
The media.
We
yes.
don't have our own media. We need our own media. And that's what we need. We need
Bingo.
We need our own media. We only have KJLH,
right.
And that's oldies and goodies.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't get any news
For
at
sure.
all. And then lately, there's been Tavis Smiley, and he's one-sided.
Yeah.
So you have to have
ownership of your media.
Yes.
Yeah. In order for you to get your message out there properly without it being distorted and propaganda fixing it and putting a spin on it.
Absolutely.
How far are we into the show so far? Mike,
20 minutes.
20 minutes? Okay. So I want to make sure we divvy this up because
Yes.
we've got an hour. We did 20 minutes. Okay, so to sum this one up, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, go fix homelessness. Just do that. Just go fix it. Let's just see the effort so we can push the love vibration amongst the nation. Every time I turn on the TV, it's negative, negative, negative. Oh, this was blown up. Syria's blowing up so-and-so. Oh, we're over in Gaza blowing up. Negative, negative, negative. Let's start some positive. You guys have the resources to do it. And not just them. Not just them. I want all the people that are doing financially well. God has blessed you to do financially well. Let's give back to the positive movements, to the positive frequencies, to the positive energy, and still get your money and still push love rather than the negative things that keep us in fear, that keep the sheeple scared so that they can push these negative devil-like agendas. All right, now I'm going to move on to the next topic. It's a very touchy topic. Now, of course, we know we have President Donald Trump in office. No secret. That's the topic of social media pretty often amongst Democrats and Republicans. Now, this brother here I know is an avid Trump supporter. And tell me about that, how you opened up to becoming open-minded about Trump being president. Of course, black culture has always glorified Trump in the past in music, and you want to be like Trump and have gold buildings and real estate like Trump was always talked about in hip-hop music and always glorified. But when he became president, now all of a sudden he's known as a white supremacist. How did that change, and what made you decide to be an advocate of Trump?
Well, you're talking about my brother now.
Are you not an advocate of Trump?
I'm a businessman. I vote on policies.
A businessman with a business plan.
Yes. My brother saw that the Democrats were playing the black people
For sure.
for ever since LBJ.
Ever since Michael Mack spoke on it.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead.
So the Democrats actually knew one day that black people would start to wake up. So what they did was they started opening up the borders, and that's what it didn't just start with Joe Biden. Obama. Okay. Obama had a lot to do with a lot of this that's going on.
The immigration stuff.
Yes, this immigration.
Well, if you talk about the history of America, and I'm no historian, but I know that the Republican Party initially was the party for black people.
Yes.
And then I want to say in the 50s, 60s, they did something to change that, where they offered black people certain perks to switch
Welfare,
sides.
yeah,
welfare
welfare
and
and all
things that didn't really totally benefit us.
Yes.
Where Malcolm X spoke and said, well, these Democrats and these liberals are just they're foxes.
Yes.
You know, they're not the wolf. They're the fox who dresses up nice, but they're still going to eat you at the end of the day.
Yes.
Now, me, I want to be clear. I'm an independent. When I do vote, I voted for Obama twice. Looking hindsight, I regret it. Based on the things like we talked about, killing Gaddafi and things of that. I felt like he did more for LGBTQ than he did for the African American community. I feel like Minister Farrakhan spoke on it when he said, what did we get from being on the Democratic plantation this long? What are we receiving that makes us die hard committed to never leave that plantation? I just left the plantation talking to your brother one time. That wasn't the start, but my dad and I had a conversation with Armondo.
Yes, my brother told me about it.
That was Armando.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you guys, the viewers, we were in the backyard, and here comes Mondo in his fresh suit, and he's talking about Trump. Now Biden is running against Trump at this time, and we're like, dude, you are selling out. How can you do this? Trump's a racist. Trump, all the stuff you hear all day about Trump. Trump could cure cancer, and people will say, well, people should be free to have cancer. Trump cured cancer. I don't want that cure. Now I see it from a different lens. But back then, I was calling Armando all of these names, and you're selling out and blah. And he stood tall and steadfast, like, no, man, you're tripping. I'm voting on policies. I'm not personally attached to this. I'm not emotionally attached to this. You'll see what the Democrats are going to do when they get in office. So here I am. I decided to stay out of it because I really didn't feel Joe Biden either. So I stayed out of it. I didn't vote that time. My brother Akil, my good friend, he's a really good friend of mine since high school. He's a Republican. And he would say, Bam, are you really that stuck on the Democrats where you're not going to open your eyes and see what's going on? So I'm going to walk you through as soon as Biden gets in office. And every time they do something that I'm telling you they're going to do, I'm going to text you. And he did. First day in office, Biden gets in. Puts men and women's sports. Got a text from him. Here we go. Let's see what he does for you black people that are die hard. Go Biden. One thing after the next. LGBTQ this. Men and women's sports. War. We're Ukraine. We're bombing Gaza. We're giving money everywhere but the black community. Brought up reparations. Reparations? We're not doing that. We don't even want to talk about it. He showed me Trump's plan, which was, what was the name of that plan that Trump had for the black community? The
Opportunity Zone?
No, not the something like that. Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. He had a plan that was a package. Cube tried to get Biden to match the package. I forget what it was called.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it was the best thing. It was better than what we have, which is absolutely nothing. He was basically saying, I'll give you guys $800 billion to your businesses and whatnot for your vote. Biden basically gave us, you're not black if you don't vote for me, which was absolutely nothing.
An insult.
An insult, the platinum plan. That's the name of it. Trump offered the platinum plan, and we took Biden's you ain't black if you don't vote for me over the platinum plan. Mike, how much was the platinum plan worth that he was offering? We're going to go to the research files. We'll get back to you with that. I believe it was like $800 billion or something like that. And people will say, who's to say he was really going to do it? It was better than Biden's "you ain't black if you don't vote for me." So what I want to ask you, Arman, is why, in your opinion, was Trump the answer?
Well, number one, you can't look at yourself. You have to look at your kids, your little kids.
Yes.
And your great-grandkids. Because down the road, the immigrants and the Mexican immigrants, they're going to smother you. They've crashed all the Medicare, the Medicaid, the medical field, the school systems. It takes 30 minutes? It takes 15 minutes to get the kids situated, and so
when you say the Latinos or the Mexicans,
do
you mean the illegals? Okay, I wanted to be clear on who you're referring to. The illegals. Okay,
the illegals.
Gotcha.
The illegals are in the schools, and do you know that when you are called a sanctuary city, LAUSD still gets paid. Kids get paid.
Yeah.
So they saw money.
They're still counting the heads.
Yes.
Just like they can vote.
Yes.
That was quite odd that you let all these thousands of immigrants in, and they have the right to vote and get hotel rooms and flights and all that.
So no, you have to have ID.
Yeah.
Black people said, no, why would I need to show my ID? But when you get pulled over driving, you have to show your driver's license.
Right.
So why you can't show that?
So your answer basically is that Trump was going against these
common sense.
Yeah.
Trump is common sense.
Trump, for real.
Just
with
common sense.
No filter.
No filter.
If you're not from here, get out. Or show your paperwork, or do it the right way.
Do it the right way.
I thought that was harsh at first, being that we live in Los Angeles, and California, and Arizona, and Tejas, Texas. These are all Mexican.
Let me say something to you for a moment. You're a dad.
I am a dad.
I'm a dad.
Proud
one. Dad is not popular in the house, is he? Because when I say that, I'm using it as an example. Mom gets all the praise, and Dad
enforces. He's an enforcer.
And so the dad is the bad guy.
Right.
Sometimes, yeah. Dad
Scapegoat.
Scapegoat. Right.
Yes. So they make a big deal about Mother's Day and Christmas.
Right.
And Valentine's for Mom.
Right.
On Father's Day, Dad is lucky if he get a damn tie.
Yeah.
Okay,
and a big piece of chicken.
Yes, exactly.
Or if you get a call, just get a call.
Yes, exactly. And these kids today, they want
got
to
a card with nothing in it.
Yeah, they want to text you instead of calling.
Right.
So, so to answer that,
yeah, we're moving around. What does that have to do with Trump?
No. So Trump is a daddy.
Common sense. Yeah, he's a father.
Just saying, hey, go to bed.
Now listen. When I argue with your brother, I was. Oh, Trump is this. I lost a lot of friends on Facebook with that.
Of course.
You're this, and you're just just pointing my finger and spewing bullshit. Forgive me, all of y'all, for that.
They get very personal.
Yeah, they get personal. And I was that guy. And when I look at how I felt about Trump, I'm like, damn, I was tripping. Like, I'm not saying that he's perfect or anything. I'm just saying
we're not talking.
I was. My emotions or something that got in it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't thinking on policies. And my buddy Akil would say, dude, whose policies are better for your family? You ain't got to go have lunch with either one of them, because neither one of them ain't going to take your call. So who's going to help your family the most?
Yes.
Who has the policies that make sense? Who's putting out the legals? Who's putting businesses first? Who's trying to give us a platinum plan to help the black community and not just say you ain't black if you don't vote for me? When you say that, Joe Biden, but you created the crime bill that put more Negroes in prison than any other president ever.
Absolutely.
So how can we accept this from them? But Trump is a racist. The guy who we glorified in our music, the guy who's friends with Michael Jackson, sat through his whole trials with him, the guy who's friends with Oprah Winfrey, Mike Tyson, all these people. But now all of a sudden he's the diehard racist. Now he's an elite. He's with people with money, but so are the Democrats. They all sit at the same table, and in my opinion, they're arms of the same beast. So what I want to ask you is, why do Democrats and Republicans end up in Israel kissing that wall?
Because Israel owns America.
Hello. Now, we didn't prep any of this. This is why I knew he was going to... One more time for the people in the back didn't hear. Who owns-
Israel owns America.
I would have to agree with that.
How so?
Gaddafi said that.
Google it.
Google it.
No, we don't have to.
When
We don't
I
have to
say
go there.
that,
Let's keep it here. APAC.
Yes.
Do you know what APAC is?
I do, but I forgot.
Okay, APAC is who runs all the lobbyists, and every congressperson is funded by APAC,
Yes.
a Jewish lobbying firm. Every congressperson takes from APAC except for like 2. Israel definitely. Why are we giving them money in Israel? Why are they our ally? Why are we supporting their wars when we have so many problems here in America? Why when we
Because
have...
we're a war machine, and what is our number one export? Weapons.
Weapons. Okay. Hello. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
This is why they own us. And, we got to be careful because they may take this down. So let's be careful. How do I say this? I'm so sick of being censored.
But this is why you've got to. You it's too late now.
It's supposed to be freedom of speech,
But
and the
it's not.
fact that we
It's
have to
not.
worry about speaking truths is absolutely crazy. But back to Mike's question on how does Israel own America? It's so clear that they own the media, because you got to think about this. When you can't criticize somebody, then you know who's in charge.
Absolutely.
When you can't criticize people even when they're wrong, you know who's in charge.
Absolutely.
And so we see that, and we have to be quiet about it on a media level. We have to be quiet that they own all the record companies. We have to be quiet that every president has gone to Israel and kissed the wall. Did they come here and kiss the Washington Monument?
No.
No, and I don't even know how long Netanyahu's term is. But I think
he's this is it.
and this is it.
He's up for war crimes in South Africa.
In South Africa, yeah, he's
Yes,
being
he's
indicted
up-
in
yeah,
all of
yeah.
these different places. But you will hear so many Americans, sheeple, say, "Well, those are our allies. Netanyahu is about peace and war, peace and love." Yet he's bombing children in hospitals and taking aid away from people every day that we see. And I get October 7th happened, and that was.
But
a
they're
sad
not the
thing.
real Jews. Also,
They're not Semitic.
right? They're not the real Jews.
They're not right. So they're Zionists.
Yes.
And so when we talk about this subject, and this may go left because they love taking this stuff down whenever we start talking about this kind of stuff. This is why they're trying to control social media. It makes me think, is voting even real, in your opinion?
To some degree.
To some degree.
To some degree.
Because the popular vote is not what gets a president in office. It's the electoral vote.
Yes.
Which seems like a scam to me.
Yes.
What in the is the electoral vote? Now, my daughter said, "Dad, you have to stop. That T-shirt is a bad word. This is we the family." Sometimes.
Yes.
But what the movie are y'all watching if you don't know that Israel runs America? You really need to take your head out of the sand. Really pay attention. I get it. It's a hard truth, and it's easier to take the blue pill in the Matrix and just la 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 and pretend you don't see any of this is happening, but it's too obvious to ignore. Now, what I want to...
Can I interject for a second?
You can. Go
over
for
here
it.
to Putin. You know, that is Russia's land.
What is? Israel?
No,
Ukraine?
Ukraine.
Yes.
that's Russia's land.
When people talk about Putin, I like to say, you said Donald Trump is common sense. People say Putin, he's Donald Trump's little biatch. Putin or Trump is Putin's little whatever the
Yeah.
hell. To me, all of the presidents are Netanyahu's little biatch because he don't play. He runs all of it. But
No, he don't run Russia.
he don't run Russia. And that's why I like Putin. And my neighbors are Russian. And they always say, you guys believe everything on TV because Putin is not the bad guy that they portray him to be.
Exactly.
Now check this out. Would America allow Russia to set up shop in Mexico or in Cuba?
No.
Or so what Russia said with the UN is, you can't let Ukraine set up these weapons right next door to me.
Right.
I'm not going to allow you to do that, just like you wouldn't allow me to set up shop
Yes.
right next door to you.
Right.
And here we are
Yes.
meddling in, putting our 2 cents in, funding shit that could start a world war. And then when you see people like Candace Owens, please protect her at all costs. She's one of my favorite. That speaks truth. She's braver than most of the men out there that I know who won't share this here not documentary, I'm doing a documentary as well, that won't share my podcast, that won't speak on these things, that are silent little Sandys and non-soldiers. Candace Owens is a real soldier.
A real one.
A real one. She's built for this, and she's ready to die for what she speaks on, and I'm proud of her, and may God protect her. But yeah, they're not gonna let Russia set up shop next to America. So why would Putin allow that? But here we are, and Candace Owens, back to that point, she said, I went down to, where was she at? She was somewhere in Europe. And she said, all the Ukraine men down there on big yachts, balling out. So all that money we sending over there is going to some organizations that got them bubbling off of our money, our taxpayer money. When we can't eat, when we have a hurricane, we have a flood, they say, well, where are you going to get the money from? Well, the same money that we raised for Ukraine, the same money that we raised for Israel, raise that money for the people of Florida, the people of North Carolina, the people who have dealt with the fires in California. What you mean where the money's at? That's why we the people have to stop being cowards and not mobilizing. Because once we say, like Billy Carson said, pull your money out the bank, everybody, for 1 week. Stop getting gas for
just
1 day, 2 days. Stop getting gas for 3 days. They'll be like, huh, what do you want? What do you need? But we're so divided and so built in the matrix and hamster wheel that we can't get out the hamster wheel because you got to go to work. Oh, you got to buy your Gucci glasses. You got to buy your jewelry. And I'm guilty of it too, but my priorities aren't, I didn't buy the $80,000 car before you buy the house. Shout out to E40, teaching me that game when I was a kid. You don't buy the $80,000 car before you buy a house, dummy. You buy the house first, because then when you try to go get a loan, they're going to say, oh, your priorities are backwards. You got an $80,000 car and you're trying to buy a house? Well, you can't afford that. Why didn't you buy the house first? And then you're good. You got your loan there. Yeah. Then when you go buy the car, they like, okay, no problem.
Yes.
We backwards. We don't teach each other the game, Absolutely. The real game.
There's another way of saying that.
But back to this is the ghost of the room, our media guy. Let's listen to Mike. Go ahead, Mike. My bad.
Your loan to ratio value is pretty high.
Your loan to ratio value is extremely high. Your debt to income doesn't match.
Exactly.
Unless your name is Weinberg, then we don't even look at that, Mr. Weinberg. We know you're good. We just look at your credit.
So that's why you buy the house first.
That's why you buy the house first, of course. And then your debt to income still may be screwed up because it may not make sense. You know, they want to see what is your income after taxes. Can you afford this house first? And then when you buy the car first, they say, well, if your money goes bad, what are you going to prioritize first? That's why when you buy a second home, it's hard to get other banks to loan on that because they're saying, well, if you go belly up and you're not that strong with assets and finances in the bank and you go belly up, you're going to let our second loan go first. You're going to keep your primary residence. So yes. I'm giving you this income property. That's an investment property. You're probably going to let that go first because you want to keep your home where your family's at.
Yes.
And so if we don't learn these things, loan, what is it? Loan to ratio? Debt to ratio? I always forget the terms, and I'm in real estate, damn it. Forgive me. But debt to income has to be right. Your credit has to be right. And when you're building with banks, just a little game for you guys, don't go to the big banks. Bank of America don't care if you got $2 million in the bank. They deal with people with billions. They don't even want to help you at all. Go to small banks. They'll work with you over time. And it'd be nice if we had our own banks in the black community because the Jews sure have their banks and the Asians sure have their banks and the whites sure have their banks and the Germans sure have their banks and everybody has their banks except who? Me and you. So we're going to work on that. Now, one more thing. Why do black people trust the government in certain occasions? They care about your health, but not your wealth and your financial well-being. Then why? Well, they care about your health when they're pushing a vaccine, but they don't care about your health when it's time to teach you how to eat right, how to not eat parasites in food that has bioengineered food. And then when you go to the grocery store, every other product says bioengineered ingredients. I've taught my kids to read Chips Ahoy cookies and all these things. They're like, I can't eat that, Dad. It says bioengineered ingredients.
Yes.
We went to the UCLA basketball game. Every little thing we bought said bioengineered on the back. And my daughter was like, Dad, you bought this? Look at this. Look. So we went back and took it back to the stand. And everybody working there was like, huh? What are you talking about? Well, we want to send this back. Look at this on here. Bioengineered. Why are you not telling us that you're selling these bioengineered products? And they were like, the manager even came out, well, because I didn't know it was there. I'm in the hamster wheel just like everybody else here. I'm just working in the matrix. I don't go deeper than the surface.
Right.
And that's what I'm here at. What the movie are y'all watching take you deeper than the surface?
You lucky they didn't walk you out.
They couldn't walk me out. I paid for the stuff.
No, when I say that, meaning walk you out of the stadium.
Yeah. Well, they
Yeah.
couldn't. I paid for it.
No, but they gave you your money back.
They gave my money and told me to leave. Get the
Yes.
hell out of here. You're teaching people not to buy our products in here.
Yes.
Get the out of here. You're causing problems.
Because
sir. You look
everybody
like
started
a
looking at their stuff
problem
and say,
maker.
"What? I didn't know that."
Okay, so let me. So why? You didn't answer the question, Mondo. Why do people trust the government only on certain occasions?
No.
Why do black people all of a sudden you trusted the government to take a untested vaccine?
well,
why do you trust the government?
Just back in the 60s or 70s, when they told the woman to get the husband out of the house,
Right.
that she would get a check, and she got that check on time.
Only if the black man wasn't in the house.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
It's called welfare.
yeah, so they trusted that welfare check.
Right.
So once they knew that welfare check was going to be there,
Right.
on the 1st and the 15th or
Right.
whatever it is, you can't tell a black person anything. That's welfare driven.
Wow. Okay, so can black people heal from the trauma of this American experience? I mean, because we didn't decide to be here. We didn't wake up one morning and say, hey, guys, I got a great idea. Let's move to the ghetto and be broke. Goes back to what you said. Integration was what?
Integration hurt us. Martin Luther King messed us up.
With trying to integrate.
At the end of the day, Martin Luther King messed us up.
My grandmother said that all the time.
Yes.
Integration was the worst thing that happened to black people.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
we lost our businesses.
Everything.
We lost our black Wall Streets.
Yes.
We started trying to compete with people that we can't compete with because we don't have generational wealth.
No.
So people try to say everything's fair. You can go get a job. Yeah, I can go get a job
Yes.
and work, but you have generational wealth. You have a super head start.
Yes.
You can be a dentist and maintain all of the wealth from your family. I can't do that.
You took someone's land that has oil and minerals on it that you're getting every month.
Right.
How do you compete with that?
You got 40 acres and a mule, and we got dirt. We got no. We didn't even get no dirt.
No.
Okay, so black people have some healing to do from the trauma of what America caused. Now, I know you stick to the script all the time. Now, let me ask you this: do you think that white Americans will ever take accountability for their role in the international demise of the nuclear black family, or the government's intent to suppress the financial gains and generational wealth of black Americans? Will white Americans ever say, you know what, at least we acknowledge that this has happened through the CIA and all of these things that we know has happened, yet they deflect all the time and just say, well, you're free now and that don't have nothing to do with me. That was my parents and my grandparents. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, but
they'll ever be accountable?
The great grandparents train their children to be worse than them.
Ha!
Think about it.
Deep.
You just said something right now. You as a dad and as a father, you train your children to look at the back of their food.
The products that they eat, yes.
So what do you think a white person did with their kids when it comes to us?
For sure. Well, they taught them financial literacy.
Yeah,
and they taught them
they showed them that we're supposed to buy from them.
from them.
Yes.
Right. They taught them to be entrepreneurs.
Yes.
These are your customers.
These are your customers.
And they're beneath you.
And these are the kind of products that you will sell.
So what Arman is saying is he doesn't believe that white America will ever,
They won't.
ever, ever admit and be accountable for what they've done to African Americans in America. I want to say to my white friends out there, all of you, when I see you, kick your ass. No, I'm just kidding. I got a few friends, white friends, that we talk about this stuff, and they get a kick out of my stance because they learn from it and they look at it from a different lens.
Absolutely.
And it's good to see people look at things from a different lens, because we're not just saying, hey, pour on us, just give us some free money because we feel we deserve it. No, man, when you look at what's happened over the history of America, your little brother who helped you build this country to become the most powerful nation in the world through free labor and through resources that you attained by slaves. Could you throw him a little bone? Do you think you could throw him a little bone? You know, maybe free loans, no interest loans, maybe something like that. You know, get houses. You know, maybe get them out of the ghetto. Because what I was going to say earlier is black people didn't wake up and say, I got a great idea, guys. Let's be broke and move to the ghetto and be ignorant as hell and do drugs. And everybody said, oh yeah, great idea. No, that was by the circumstances of what was implemented on us through white supremacy. So stop it with generalizing and stereotyping black people as if they decided to move to the ghetto. And when they created the Black Panthers, they broke down Fred Hampton and those brothers and turned them into a terrorist group. And then the gangbangers started the Bloods. Brothers Love, I forget the acronym. Crips, Community Representatives Empowering People Society. And then they turned them against each other and once again infiltrated us and turned us against each other. And we took it and ran with it. And we are guilty of taking it and running with it and not holding each other accountable for doing something different. So I don't just blame white people, even though they are the root of the problem. And if there's a virus in the computer, you can't blame the person who put the virus in the computer. I mean, you can't blame the computer. You got to blame the person who put the virus in the computer. Correction. So I feel like black people are the computer, and there was a virus put into the computer. By whom?
So did you know that Alex Padillas and his group in Sacramento rejected reparations here in California?
Weren't they? I didn't know that, but
Yes.
I'm not surprised. I do remember them running on the campaign that they were. It was a bill that was going to be reviewed. That reparations was. I never believed that shit.
Steve Bradford pushed for that.
Yeah.
They got mad with Steve Bradford. The NAACP,
Right.
The Black Caucus got mad with Bradford, but the Mexican Americans, not all of them, but most of them are not our friend.
No, they're not. But they deserve something too.
No, I'm not even. This is what gets me in this country.
In my opinion.
Black people, they always want to include black and brown.
Right. You can't do that.
The
We don't have to
brown
segregate
people-
against them. We're
no,
separate. It's two separate
yeah,
causes.
yes.
I'm with you.
Yes.
You can't put minorities all together and say we need to help minorities.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Yes. Brown people don't bring black people in their fight.
They don't.
No.
They don't even stand up for us when we
No.
get killed by police a lot of the time.
No.
So there's a little bit of a tension there, but there's also a bit of a union there sometimes in certain instances.
Well,
So,
I want to just say this. I don't want to interrupt too much.
yeah, you're
Right-
not. You're the guest. You got to speak. Let's
Right
go.
here in Los Angeles, your mayor,
Yeah.
Karen Bass,
Yeah.
is siding with the brown people. Everything that you turn on the TV, it's all brown.
Yeah.
There is nothing that has anything to do with black. Everything is brown.
They're scared of black unity, man. They don't want to see black unity. They don't want to see black people wake up and start having banks. That's why they destroyed Black Wall Street. There's a reason why they're terrified. That's why they shot the nose off the Sphinx. They shot the nose off the Sphinx because black people built the pyramids, and that wide nigga nose is why Napoleon shot the Sphinx with a cannon and blew half the nose off. So there's a fear of black people returning to their greatness, returning to their Semitic ways that created math and science and pyramids and whatnot. Mike, what you got over there? I'm sorry, I couldn't see that. You know my eyes are bad. What we got?
5-0.
50. We at the 50-minute mark.
Yeah, so we got 10 minutes.
Okay. So I want to say I support you on your. Let's go back. We're gonna rewind. I support you on voting for Trump.
My brother.
Your brother voting for Trump, and you guys supported him in any way.
Yes.
I'm not saying that I'm super pro-Trump or I love Trump in any way. I just think he was
Policies.
a far better option than Kamala Harris and her Zionist husband, and transgenders having parties on the White House lawn, and men competing in women's sports, and bombing, and LGBTQ, and blah, 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 with transgenders teaching kids. It was too much, man. It was just like, Jesus Christ. Are men, and women? We couldn't even agree on that. Are kids born with testicles or vaginas? We can't even agree on that, Democrats. So once that happened, I jumped off the Democratic plantation, and I felt so free. Ever since, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I am an independent thinker.
Yes.
And whoever comes with the right policies, that's who I'm rocking with.
Absolutely.
All right, now we only got 10 more minutes, so I want to go into another topic that's kind of off the other two topics that we talked about. It's a different topic. This is Snoop Dogg versus Daz, family feuds and bad business. Now, you might not know about what's going on, so if you don't know, I'm going to enlighten you. My dad didn't want to talk about this shit because he said, I don't care about all that negative music and all of the negative things that they portray, and they're feuding. I think they should keep the family business off the internet. I agree in certain instances, and I disagree. I respect my dad's mind because he's a brilliant man, and he's given me so much insight and game over my life. I can't thank him enough. But we are men, and sometimes we agree to disagree.
Yes.
And we're still on the same team forever. The reason why I think this is important is because this industry has been portrayed as an industry that's fair when it's not. We know that these certain people, we've talked about them before, it rhymes with news, cruise, fuse, and booze. They run the whole industry. And they own the industry, and they haven't paid anybody fair in the industry from the beginning of its origination, and being that African Americans are one of the catalysts of making music so large, they receive the short end of the stick as far as financials, as far as publishing, as far as royalties. It's been since
Sarah Vaughan,
Barry Gordy, Michael Jackson. We've seen them all get screwed. So here we are. Snoop Dogg, one of the biggest names in music and entertainment. If you go to anywhere in the world and you say, I'm from America, you go to Japan, they're going to say, oh, you know Snoopy Doggy Dogg. They don't say Trump or Obama. They say a Snoopy Doggy Dogg because hip-hop is that large. Now, Snoop, icon in music, one of my homies. Shout out to Snoop. He always shows me love when he sees me. Daz, one of my dogs, always shows me love. Corrupt, I got music with Corrupt. So these are my bros, and I know them for real. Not well enough to go sit and eat dinner, but we dap each other up when we see each other. I feel like in this instance, I wish Snoop took a different route. I saw how Suge Knight did Snoop in their camp when you had Death Row, and it was worth $400 million. I thought Suge should have gave Dre $50 million. He should have gave Snoop $25 million. He should have gave Corrupt and all them like $5 million, all the other little guys. Now, you didn't probably gave out $100 million in your camp, or a little bit more. But you still got $300 million, and you got loyalty from your guys because you paid them right. Instead of continuing on with the people that run the industry have been doing forever. The Leo Core, what's his name? These dudes that run the industry. Clive Davises and all these people that Michael Jackson and Prince referred to as devils and gatekeepers. So Snoop, here he is, and Daz arguing. Daz left Death Row because he said he wasn't getting his royalties, that he owned the trademark to the Dog Pound, and now that Snoop bought Death Row from Suge Knight, him and his partners bought the name Death Row Records, and they were re-signing the Dog Pound. Daz thought, hey, well, okay, I finally get my due. I finally get my publishing. Everything's going to be up on the up and up. Instead, he later found out that Snoop went and tried to re-trademark everything and own everything and give them peanuts and then go sell the catalog for $1 billion. Now, Snoop never denied this. You know, today, people say, well, why are you in personal business on the internet? Everything's personal business on the internet. We talk about people's kids. We talk about Jada and Will. Everything's personal on the internet when it comes to sex and who's screwing who and who likes girls and who likes boys and Puffy and all that. So we talk about things. So let's not pretend that we don't talk about business on the internet. Daz is saying, F y'all. I got my money before and I'll sue y'all again. And then Snoop responded and said, F you, cuz, I'm going to come see you. You know, he never said you're a liar. He just said, clearly you're hating on me. You hating on me. You hating on my success. He never said, man, I paid you right. You did this and, you know, you lying. So basically he just said, F you, you broke and you need some money and went that route. And I was disappointed.
Yes. Because
I'm a fan of Snoop Dogg and I wanted to see our brothers do better. Because now that you have this kind of money, Snoop got to be worth, what, $300 million at least, or some shit, crazy numbers. Why wouldn't you make sure your people are right?
Right.
When that's what you've been talking about. Master P signed Snoop out of the Suge deal, bought him a house, bought him a car, paid it off, and gave him his contracts where he could see clearly his royalties and he could see what he was making. And Master P kind of mentored him on that. So why wouldn't you carry that tradition on to your camp and your family? Daz is his cousin. Now people say stay out of family business. I had a similar issue with my family, and I want to know your opinion. I had a cousin who I love dearly to this day. We don't talk anymore because they're the side of my family that has some money. The only side of the family that has some money. And they've been very, vocal about, or not vocal about that, but it's just obvious that they're the only people that have. So they kind of want you to look up to them like,
right.
We have the money and you guys come, and that's cool, whatever. I always made my own money, so I never had to do that.
Sure.
you know, because I come from nothing. And I don't want to say nothing. I come from a great family.
Yes.
I come from a great family. I come from great parenting. But financially, there were hardships, let's just say that.
Okay.
That taught me a lot.
Yes.
We had a house. We
Yeah.
had more than a lot of people have. So let me not say that. I wasn't silver spoon, but I wasn't super duper.
You wasn't.
I don't know how to.
You wasn't
my
poor.
tummy wasn't growling.
You wasn't
My
poor.
tummy wasn't growling.
No.
Middle class?
Yeah, you.
I wasn't even middle class.
No, you was middle class.
Would
You was. I know you.
It-
You are you a baby. I know
Okay,
you. So
but-
you were middle class.
Well, what would you call that middle class?
Your mom and dad was not poor. If they were,
Nobody
you wouldn't have never knew.
Nobody knew.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna put my business out there. Let's just say there were times where we were on welfare.
Y'all wasn't having
There was
no
welfare checks around.
Y'all wasn't eating syrup sandwiches in
No.
brown bags.
By any means, no.
No, so that
No, and
means-
we had so much love, we felt rich.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, back to my cousin. My uncle, on the other hand, is a street guy.
Okay.
And he's very popular. You guys would know. I'm not going to say any names. But anybody watching this from LA knows that there's a couple people in my family that were street guys and did well and ended up doing prison time and coming home and doing the right thing, get back in the business. So anyway, he brings a relationship to my cousin, right, that allows him to retire his parents, right? So initially it came in the form of a restaurant deal.
Yes.
The restaurant deal didn't go through. But the guy he brought to fund the restaurant deal and my cousin decide, oh, we know each other kind of from college. So they decide to go do another deal and cut my uncle out and never gave him a finder's fee or anything.
Right.
Like some street
Yeah.
shit.
Right.
Right? But in the corporate game, my cousin said, well, he should have had his paperwork right. If this was the streets, he would have just killed your ass.
Yes.
But see, that shows you that the corporations are worse than the streets.
Yes.
Because in the streets, you can't make a move like that because you won't live
No.
if you make a move like that.
You won't live to
But
buy.
if you're in the Jewish community or Persian community, they give people finder's fees. They say, oh, you put this together?
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to give you a finder's fee. I think it's like 1% of the deal.
Higher
Here go a
rate.
couple $100,000. And you know what? Because you gave me this line of credit that's going to be infinite, I retired my parents, I'm going to even give you a job. And you were good enough to bring this situation to me. Let's eat like black people.
Yeah.
Now, my cousins, on the other hand, they always have meetings at their house with Obama and black people. We want to help everybody together and we should be black and strong. But when this brother in our family brought you something that brought you millions of dollars, you gave him Laker tickets. And you didn't help him at all. You basically
Just
told
gave
him
him some Laker tickets.
Laker tickets. Never gave him a finder's fee.
Wow.
Never. So back to Snoop. That's why when Snoop did Daz like this, it hit home for me.
Yeah, because you felt it.
I felt it because I love my family. Even the ones that I'm talking
Yes.
about, they are great people. I'm not going to say they're bad people. I just think when you get caught up in money, sometimes you let the devil run your mind and you let your ego get bigger than your heart.
Money changed a lot.
Money
of people.
changed. Well, they already had money, so it didn't
Yeah.
change them. Or
Right.
it made you more of who you
Yes,
really were.
absolutely.
Maybe it made you more of an asshole than you already. So when you see Snoop do this to Daz, and I see the internet is speaking on it. Some people say, get out their business. You don't know what really happened. Well, Snoop should clear that up.
Yes.
And say, hey, here's what the contract's saying. Here's what I'm doing to help this brother. And here's why he left. It's because of this and that. But taking the fifth and saying you a broke nigga and you know and I should F you up and that showed guilt to me. Again, I respect Snoop, I respect Daz, I respect Corrupt, but in this instance, I listened to this brother. His name is Cocaine. It seems like he was signed to Laylaw back in the day, who I was signed to, and Laylaw always spoke high of Cocaine. And his analogy of the whole situation was, when you know better, you do better. And he said, a man can't get into heaven getting into heaven, the chances are like getting through the eye of a needle. It's some analogy in the Bible.
Yes.
It's basically saying it's hard to get in heaven.
Yes.
Because most people don't do right. Most people don't operate on a love frequency. They don't operate on morality. It's money, 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 money.
Right.
And money becomes their God in an instance. And so I just want to say, I want to ask you, if a person gives you a connection that helps you attain your goals, should you give back to that individual
Absolutely.
that helps you?
With no question. I'm going to run to him.
Okay. Is money more important than morality?
No morality.
And I would agree with that. I think money is an important tool.
It's just
but
a
if you
tool.
don't have morality with the money, then you become you're a ghost. Like I look at Elon Musk. I know I want y'all to send us Elon. Sometimes I feel like you pushing this robot stuff because you're not grounded in spiritual. You're starting to feel like a robot to me. And you're, in my opinion, great businessman, but when it comes to just being a human and your morality, I would like to see more being done for humanity, my opinion. Why does society celebrate people who do absolutely the bare minimum or zero for their community, but flaunt riches openly to their fans? Why do we celebrate that?
Most of 70% of society is followers.
Say it again. What are we trying to get on all these platforms? I need more what? Followers.
Followers.
Wow.
Likes. I don't know if you noticed on Facebook, they took the views off.
No, I didn't notice that.
Look at the views.
They don't want you to see the views. They just want to see your followers.
Man,
they don't want to pay you for those views.
They start paying out so much money.
They don't want to pay you.
They don't, and they only have like on the likes and stuff now. My buddy said to me this morning, "Man, I only have like 10 likes." And
Mike, I want to ask Mike, the ghost man in the back. Mike, why does society celebrate people who do absolutely the bare minimum, zero for their community, but flaunt riches openly all day to their fans? Phones off on the show.
That's the precedence they want to set, so everybody follows that same behavior.
So everybody continues to.
I mean, if you promoted love and fellowship and be good to your brother, and you idolize that, and
then that's what the masses would do. So clearly, that's not
people
the
will
agenda
follow
of the
that.
people in
Yes.
charge. That is sad in itself. Okay, why are men so cowardly and quiet on these matters today?
Most men are not men.
As in, they have a vagina?
No, not
They just don't have a strong pair between their legs.
Yeah, they're
They're
I don't
followers.
know. They're followers.
And when I say that, I don't mean literally. I mean
Yeah.
like you're a strong man. Like you stand on your business. You know they say grow a pair. If you're a brave man, you grew a pair.
Because I've met some small men
Yeah.
that were men,
Yeah.
and I've met some big gigantic Andre the Giants
That are weaklings.
that were-
That's why I didn't mean literally. I
Yeah,
mean in your
yes.
spirit, in your actions, in your duties.
Yes.
I don't mean physically at all.
Yes, yeah, no, absolutely. So that's why I said most men are not men.
Men, let's work on being men. Let's work on teaching our sons to be men.
But once again, I'm going to go back to that, and I'll leave it alone. If you don't have a daddy in your house, I say to my female friends, go find your dad.
Yeah.
Go find your dad. Don't listen to what your mom said. Go find your dad.
And some of us men that are fathers to our sons, we become mentors in the form of coaches.
Yes.
We become mentors.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of men out there, I want you guys to start getting back in the community. And these young men that have fathers that have walked on them, we got to start being there for them more often.
Yes.
And putting together businesses and foundations that help kids that don't have fathers and whatnot.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it's a lot of coward culture. Okay, last question. Before we wrap this up, I want to thank you for coming on the show for one, man. It's always a pleasure seeing you, talking to you, hearing you speak truth on whether it's online or on the phone or with you and Pops just chilling, talking at a family function. This last question is deep. And I want to ask both of you, Mike and Mondo. Is Mondo back? Or is it
Arman.
Arman is only here. Okay. Does gang culture, drill culture, or stripper culture add any value to black culture?
None.
Absolutely not.
None. They allow that because they keep us ignorant.
So, being that we come from Los Angeles, and I know too many gangbangers to count, Bloods, Crips, family, friends, we know better. I think we should give the gang members who have been in the trenches their badges of honor, but it's time to end it and move forward to the next generation of positivity, entrepreneurship, family. Really live your life, because if you're caught up in all these negative frequencies, you're not really living your life. And if you're a sheep and you don't want to wake up to the realities of the things that we're talking about on this show, or you can't see it, all I want to say is, what the movie are you watching? Peace. We out.